Welcome to the Seery Poetry Library. I'm your host, Daniel Seery, and I'm going to be reading the Game On Trilogy. This was something that I began back in 2014 about love and video games. It was one of those prompt poems. Somebody gives you a sentence, an opening to a poem, and then you have to write a poem about it. And I have to say, I was the only one who used the prism of video games to tell my story. Game on. When I returned to the kitchen, the Jaguar was still there. It sat on the counter, mocking me. The lazy she was supposed to return it, but she ran off with some bass player whose band is really going places. So here I am with a broken heart staring at the Jaguar she and I used to play with for hours. She told me how lonely it looked sitting there at the store, no one giving it a moment's notice. The Atari Jaguar, 64 bits of failure, has become the sum of all those kisses, I love yous, summer night smiles. En route to sell it back to kill screen games, life flashes in video pixels. 8-bit for childhood summer, stickball on Staten Island streets dead-ended by weeds, hitching rides in the back of ice cream trucks, beaches by an ocean we couldn't swim in. 16-bit, middle and early high school, better graphics and sound, but the game was more confusing, less fun. 64-bit, post-high school, college years and dropout years. Working food service, days off spent in the city, sometimes till sunrise. Next-gen pixels for finishing school and spending the rest of my 20s and 30s trying to make it. I'm still trying. With no interest in present or future gaming, I've gone retro, finding solace in the pixels of the past. Why buy the latest Japan has to offer when I could get lost in Mega Man? Be 10 again. $19.94 credit for the Jaguar. Pick up a few NES games. I see her and the new boyfriend walking in as I'm leaving. A text came later. She's sorry for how things went, but not sorry enough to repeal game over. Hard to keep playing when there's no continues. Extra lives, cheat codes, power-ups. No game genie. Start at the beginning over and over when all I want to do is hit power and never play again. But I think of victories won on those video screens. How many times I tried again and again till the time it worked. Link recovered the Triforce. Shredder fell to Donatello because, spoilers, the other three turtles were dead. When King Koopa fell into the lake of fire for the 8th and final time. If your life is stuck on an impossible level, don't give up. Don't hit the power switch. Keep playing. Game on. Okay, second part. That was January 23rd, 2014. This is called Game Over It. This is the second part. Keep swimming, Leonardo. Gotta disarm the bombs before the dam blows. Watch out for electric seaweed. We're not gonna make it. Swim faster, Leo. Faster. Go around that spinning sharp thing. No! 1 bar of health. Switch to Donatello. The other turtles are too weak. Swim faster. Seaweed. Watch out. The dam has been destroyed. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Solomon's Key, Castlevania, Double Dragon 3, Bad Dudes, Battletoads, Batman, Rygar, Ninja Gaiden, Metal Gear, Phantasy Star, Turtles 1, Silver Surfer, Akari Warriors, Gauntlet, Commando, Ghostbusters. So many games, so many game overs. Not today's game over, where you all go back to the last save point. This was the 80s. If Mario didn't get out of World 8 alive, he'd be respawned as a scrawny Sicilian in World 1-1. I wasn't a total loser growing up. Finished Mario 3, Super Contra, all the Mega Mans, except 4. By the time Super Nintendo came, I beat most games in a week. Today's games usually 48 hours. But those old, brutal games carved us out of wood. Arcade games were hard, real hard, but we need money and a ride to the mall to fight those battles. Consoles hit us where we lived. Walkthroughs helped me rewrite history years later. Happy to say the Ninja Turtles totaled the Technodrome, Indiana Jones toppled the Temple of Doom, and Alex and Ryan paid River City ransom in full. But all the web's codes and all the web's walkthroughs couldn't get me past Mother Brain or Mike Tyson. I've come to terms with games I never beat. Some battles in pixels will never be won, just as there are some life battles we'll never win. We may think we need to win because those fights are so important. When I was a child, completing Ghostbusters was important. I wanted to win Ghostbusters because I love the movie so much, and I believed if I loved something enough, I'd never lose, right? Some things never change. I could still want something badly, could dream day or night, could still love someone so much, and game over. Back to World 1-1. We should think about those failed dreams and desires, loves that left us behind. Maybe it's not worth winning. Maybe we need to leave them to the dust like old game cartridges. July 30th, 2015. 2 players. There's much to miss falling out of love, companionship, intimacy, a world of 2. Smiley emojis at the end of each text. Knowing that of all the people burning in time's fire, they chose you, only you. But above all, I miss being 2 players. Halo, Contra, Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Total Carnage. Mortal Kombat! GoldenEye, River City, Bubble Bobble, Battletoads, though we never get past those speeder bikes. We were a team, 2 joysticks beat as 1. Let her win at Street Fighter, though she'll swear otherwise. Perform those impossible jumps in Rescue Rangers when she'd all but given up. I took out Shredder in Turtles in Time when she had 1 life to live. Now I'm stuck with no life to live. She's off with some guy with a Steam account. So let us sit on the floor and play sad player ones to clear our heads. GTA, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mega Man, Metroid, Mario 64. But even 1 players remind me of her. The princess gets captured. Mario rescues her across worlds time and again. Link recovers the Triforce to save the kingdom, and it's only Zelda who can heal his broken hearts. He may be the hero, but she is the legend. The power button to my heart seems switched off, but I can hear the faint hum of power save. Sleep mode till the next one comes along. I wonder where she is, my little blue player 2. Wonder what 1 player she gets lost in every night. We'll meet at a retrocade, I guess. I'll be 100 large in Gallagher, and I'll hear her say, we got 3 for Ninja Turtles, but we're short of Donatello. She smiles as I push start, and my mind tumbles down the rabbit hole, or in Donnie's case, a New York City sewer. Who put the lights out? Only 3 of us move on to The Simpsons. After a few rounds, player 3 moves on to Dragon's Lair. We finish off Mr. Burns and hit the 2-player games. Bad Dude, Super C, Smash TV. Crush city after city and Rampage as 80s videos played behind us. I want to say so much, but hush hush. Keep it down now. Voices carry. There will be time to say I love you, to say I need you, to say I can't play Donkey Kong Country without you. But Double Dragon's free, and we still got lots of quarters. February 2nd, 2017. It was actually rewritten, that last poem was rewritten at the Revolutionary Lounge in Toms River, the new location on Indian Hill Road. There will be an address in the description. Yeah, basically, video games were a big part of my life as a young kid, and I still play them, especially the old games. The new stuff is a little too involved for me. And if I had the time, I would love to play the new stuff. But I'm pretty happy with my old retro systems. Super Nintendo still works from 1991. It's still going strong. Some of the other systems I've had to rebuy again because they've died on me. But Super Nintendo is 30 years old this year, and it still works as good as it worked in 1991. Yeah, I don't intend to always write like this nerdy, geeky poetry about video games and love in video games and things like that, but video games are a big part of my generation. We were the tail end of Generation X, but we were before the millennials. So we were still kind of a little bit of both in there, where we still had a lot of analog stuff, but we were transitioning into digital. Home video games were a huge deal because I grew up sort of on the end of the arcade wave. arcades, by the time I was old enough to hang out at arcades were pretty much gone. Only lasted a few more years. And there was some little spurts of energy in the early 90s with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 and a few others that kind of breathed new life into the arcade games. But pretty much it had gone all console. And there's something very lonely about, playing these games at night, especially the two-player games. Can get very annoying. I play Contra a few times now and then, but I usually tend to play Tetris or Columns or a lot of these, one-player puzzle games late at night, just to decompress from the day because of work. Sometimes I work both jobs, and I just try to have a little bit of time before bed where I play something just to kind of like get my mind off things. I don't think it's healthy to be on your phone or be on Facebook or be on social media before bed, which many of us, including myself, do. It's not good for our mental health. We'll find something on there that bothers us, or something on there where we're like, that gives me anxiety or that makes me anxious. I think our phones naturally make us anxious. So I think one of the best things you can do, of course, reading is important, or watching a movie or watching a show. One of the best things you can do at night is play an old video game, something that you've killed a million times. I mean, I'm not asking you to try and beat Mike Tyson or do anything crazy, but pick an old game. Super Mario Brothers 3 is one that I like to play at night. I have a Nintendo by my bed. I also have one in the video game room, also known as the Danger room. It's the danger room, but it's the Dan cave. And that's where I have all my consoles set up, and my Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 and all the good stuff. But I also have a little NES in my room, and I play some of the old ones. Mario 3 is a good one. Just a couple of rounds, and then go to sleep. If it's really hooking me, I have to be careful, because sometimes I'm supposed to be asleep because I have to get up early for work, and I'm playing Mario 3 till 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's not good for anybody. But yeah, that's I used to like reading those back when we had open mics, and hopefully things calm down with COVID and the library opens once again, and we'll be able to read some of these poems to you live in the coming months, hopefully. And hopefully a few of these cafes start to relax restrictions and then begin having open mics, and then we'll be back there again. I know these poems went over well at the Revolutionary Lounge. The last ones I didn't read because the first Revolutionary Lounge was closed by the time I wrote the third one, so I didn't read it there. But I used to read them at Green Planet Cafe in Point Pleasant, and I used to also read at a few other places here and there. There was an open mic, actually a really good open mic, at this cafe called Crave, which is also in downtown Toms River by the library. And unfortunately, that was the last open mic I read at before COVID shut everything down. So I hope and pray for our country and for our people that we get through this virus and that we're able to resume some of these activities, and we will never go back to normal. We'll always be altered by this, the way 9/11 altered us, or any other of these tragedies have altered us. But I hopefully that we can rise from the ashes of this and become a better people, and just sit at a table at a cafe with a big cup of coffee and work on our stuff. And people will be writing their poems and writing their novels, and it'll be a community again. So this is the day that we hope and pray for. Thank you, guys. Happy New Year. We're in 2021. I'm not supposed to be reading any more poetry. My New Year's resolution is to finish my novel, Lost on a Wave. So I'm going to read some more classic poems, and then we're probably not going to see each other for a little bit. See you soon.